Hey, what's up, world, and welcome to episode 102 of the Take One podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and we got a few things to cover today. We got trailer reviews. We got the first pick of Will Smith as the genie. We're talking Aquaman and Bumblebee and all that stuff, and then we're gonna get to the box office segment, how we always do every week. So, with me taking a week off, let's go ahead and get right into it and talk about the newest trailers that dropped basically yesterday and today. So the first one I wanted to get into was Hellboy. So I was looking earlier this week and I was told that we were going to get the Hellboy trailer today, but it seemed like it was bumped up until yesterday. So we got it, and I'm not going to try to be like the person that's going to be a negative Nancy on everything. The two trailers, the Men in Black trailer, International, and this Hellboy trailer, just spoiler alert, I wasn't too taken by them. I really wasn't too over the moon for these trailers. First, Hellboy. I mean, I like the look of the new Hellboy. It's the same. It's really basically the same thing. The thing that throws me off about the whole thing, because the trailer was okay. It wasn't good. It was just okay, But it literally, everything, it looks like the old one with Ron Perlman up in there. That's literally what it looks like. That's why I wasn't too thrown back by it. It was like, this literally could have been a part 3. Like, Guillermo del Toro wanted a crazy amount of money to do a part 3 of Hellboy, and basically part 3 to finish off the trilogy. And just because of the poor reception of I ain't gonna say poor reception, but just because part 2 didn't make as much money as they wanted it to do, they didn't want to pour in a crazy amount of money to do a part 3 and it not be crazy successful. And I believe this was coming off the heels of Pacific Rim, because Guillermo del Toro directed, and I believe he wrote the first, Pacific Rim. I just said it. And so that movie, even though I thoroughly enjoyed it, I love Pacific Rim, the first one. Second one, not as good as the first one, but I did love the first one. It really didn't do so well as far as financially or whatever. And coming off the heels of that, I don't think that they were too eager to throw him the crazy amount of money, because I think it was like around 300 mil going toward it, and 300 mil, I say 200 mil is a lot of money to go toward a movie, let alone 300. That's a lot, especially for a franchise like Hellboy. I could see if it was Avengers or Star Wars or something like that. Even then, it's still too much money. But if you had to throw money at a movie franchise or something like that, it would have to be one of those big films, because you know that they're going to make the money back. So, but a Hellboy, yeah, I could see that. And that's just coming off the hill. So he was, not able to do the third Hellboy movie, and so they canned it to reboot it. And this is what we got. Not saying that this movie might not be good. It might be in the top 10 of my favorite films for next year. I'm not saying anything. This is based off of what I've seen from the trailers, because I love the posters beforehand. All the posters that they dropped on Instagram, Twitter, and everything else, I love them. I love the look and everything else, because it looks like he had a totally different kind of look to him. But looking at it now, I mean, of course, he looks different, just a tad bit. Majority of it, like, he just looks the same, So I'm thinking, like, maybe they could have finished off Guillermo del Toro's, Hellboy trilogy. Maybe they could have just recast, Hellboy like they did before or whatever, like what they did with this one, and just basically just continued it. But I get why they would want to do a new one, but to me, it was like, it looks like the same thing that we got from Guillermo del Toro. And I love the Guillermo del Toro Hellboys. The second one, even better than the first one. And I really enjoyed the first one. It doesn't seem anything different, It really doesn't. It seemed about as dark as, the first one. The only thing that I can see that they're more than likely basically doing differently is the makeup, the prosthetics, and making it more CG than it was in the first, in like Guillermo del Toro's one. Because Guillermo del Toro, from what I've seen with his stuff, is that he likes to do practical, and that's one of the things that looked it right up in there. It looks more organic. Up in the second Hellboy movie, a lot of it was, I mean, basically he uses CG and digital, basically, yeah, CG when it's absolutely needed. If it's like landscapes or just something big that they can't make anything practical from, then okay, use it. And that's what I kind of liked about the first two Hellboys. And with this reboot, I'm not, like I said, the movie may end up being on my top 10, may be on my top 5 of next year. By the end of next year, it may end up being there. But from looking at it, and I'm not taking it against it, but it seemed like they're going toward the more CG heavy type movie rather than using a lot of prosthetics, practical effect or anything. I may be wrong. We may see another trailer, or I might end up seeing this movie, and they might have a lot of practical, like, costumes and everything else. But just looking at it, I was underwhelmed. It looks like it may be okay. Maybe it was just the trailer. The trailer really doesn't say into anything. You got Mila Djokovic as the villain or whatever. I'm not too keen on, I'm not too knowledgeable of the Hellboy, comic books, so I can't really say who she is and what character she's playing or anything of that nature, because I don't know. But you can tell that she's the villain, that she's some type of demon or witch or whatever the heck, and he has to try to stop her. It doesn't really say too much of the thing. Like, this trailer was basically put out to get the tone, just the tone of the movie. And that's one thing that just stood out to me, is that it looks exactly like Guillermo del Toro's version, and maybe just a tad bit lighter, because Guillermo del Toro, he likes to go for more gothic type of like look for his movies or whatnot, and this looks a little bit lighter. You could tell another visionary has basically put their own flair to it, but it really just kind of looks more the same. Like, I don't know. This is just my impressions. The trailer looked decent. It's okay. It wasn't anything that threw me off. It was like they literally could have just made a part 3. I don't know, and just carried on from there. Just continued on. But I could see where they wanted to do something different. But it's like, if you're not gonna go completely different, then why? I don't know. And like looking at the posters, Hellboy looked more like they just, I don't know, like. You can see the prosthetics and just the way he talks and stuff, and just his lips, like around his lips and stuff. You could tell that was prosthetics. With Ron Perlman, it's like, it seemed more like him. It just seemed more of, they were using more of just his body. They need to put prosthetics where they need to put them for his arm and stuff like that, and parts of his head where the horns and stuff is. But for majority of the time, it looked like it was just Ron Perlman's face. Just painted up red. And I don't know, like, I wasn't too taken by it. Like, I don't know. I'm going to wait to the next 2 trailers, because usually they come in 3s, and see what more of this film that they got to advertise and how they advertise it. Is it going to take me in at that point? But as of right now, I'm underwhelmed by it. Just really underwhelmed. And then to get into the next trailer, Men in Black International, another trailer, like I said before, I was underwhelmed by. It was like, I mean, and with this one, this is I ain't gonna say a continuation, but it is a connection. I believe. I could be totally wrong. I was on Overlord. I thought Overlord was a connection to the, Cloverfield franchise. I think at one point it was speculated it was supposed to be, but I got my, my information wrong. But as far as I know, just by the look and just when Tessa Thompson's character M walks through and basically going into the headquarters, it looks exactly like the entrance way from the original Men in Black series or whatnot. But it, like the Hellboy trailer, this movie doesn't really say too much about it. It's just there to give you the tone of the movie, give you some semblance of like what, you know, Tessa Thompson's character is, what Chris Hemsworth's character is, and everything else, and just bringing you back to it. Right now, it's just more of nostalgia, I guess you could say, and that's what they were going for, which I can get it. But I was underwhelmed. The trailer wasn't funny. I didn't really find it amusing. I really didn't get too much of a sense of their characters. You got like a little bit of like Chris Hemsworth, kind of, I guess you could say he's more Thorish. How Thor was in Ragnarok. That's what I got from his character in here. Tessa Thompson seemed like she is kind of like just a go-getter. Like, she's not straightforward, and I guess you could say she's more the straightforward character than Chris Hemsworth character. Chris Hemsworth character seems more relaxed. He seems more just, he just does things, you know, like Joker. He doesn't have a plan. He just does things, you know, and just stuff like that. And Tessa Thompson just seemed like the character who tries to do things by the book, and she seems like she has a narrative. Like, there's a reason why she sought out the Men in Black and tried, you know, and basically joined them. And she just seemed like the person that is, you know, she catches on quick, basically, like Rey from, you know, not Men in Black, Star Wars. And basically, I don't know, like, it's just underwhelming. I don't know. These trailers, and it's just the way the trailers go. Like I said, with Hellboy, Men in Black International may be part of my top 10 by the end of next year. It may end up top 10 best of next year. I don't know. But so far, these trailers have been underwhelming. Like the Hellboy trailer, it's okay. I'm not going to completely dismiss it. It wasn't completely trash or anything, but it was okay. It wasn't anything that got me too excited for, you know, for Men in Black International or Hellboy. You know, I was more excited for Hellboy from the posters rather than the trailer. So, I don't know. I'm still going to go see it, but it's not a movie that I'm really enthusiastic about seeing. It's not a movie where I'm like, oh my God, I got to go see this. This looks awesome. At least not now. So, I don't know. I just truly don't know. But in any case, let's go ahead and go to the next one, which is movie news. And so, the first thing I wanted to cover, yesterday, Entertainment Weekly had came out with their new photo with, it has the cast of the new live action Aladdin movie. And one thing that stood out, which basically was the top title in news with Aladdin, was Will Smith's look of the genie. And just like these trailers, I'm underwhelmed. So apparently this isn't the like final look of Will Smith. This, I guess, is just him like when he's like helping Aladdin go into like you know, the palace and stuff, and he has to be there to accompany him or whatever. I guess he's gonna like disguise himself as, you know, Will Smith, you know. And then maybe his regular design is a 3D version, blue 3D version of Will Smith or whatnot. I just hope that it's not painted on, you know, the blue isn't painted on and he's just Will Smith, just blue. Like he's eating too many Smurfs and now his skin is turning blue. But it just, I don't know, like, it's just underwhelming. It's just like I said, I'm not trying to put it out. I'm not trying to just trash and be a negative Nancy on this. Or in my case, I guess you could say a negative Nathaniel. I don't know. But it just, this movie I might end up coming out this movie and loving it. It may end up being in my top 10. I doubt it, but it may end up being in my top 10 next year. Might end up just loving it. But as of right now, going off of just that first image that we got of Will Smith as the genie, or at least one version of him in the movie, I was underwhelmed. Now, if they got another version, let's say they come out with the first official trailer, and we get the blue CG type genie, and it actually looks incredible, then I probably can have another outlook on Will Smith's character as, just a regular, human person. And, then I probably would start to look back at this and be like, okay, now this is acceptable. So it's like, but as of right now, it's just the first image of him as this interpretation is just, I just didn't care for it. I just really, 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 really did not care for it at all. But I mean, hey, we'll see what the future has to hold. I mean, we're almost at the end of this year, so see what next year has to hold. And so let's go ahead to the next thing in movie news. So recently, Aquaman has been making a big splash, pun intended, with just everything that's been doing, been getting positive reviews upon positive reviews. It's a lot of things. Like, I've seen the movie. I was one of those people that went to go see it on, the early screening for Amazon Prime members. And I was really pissed at the time because before, it is just a quick story. I'm going to get into everything about it. But just with Atom tickets, I have everything set up because I went to go see Jumanji last year with the Amazon Prime early screening and everything. So I was able to do that with no problem. But this year, for some reason, I wasn't able to get a tickets ahead of time. And like I was hearing like they were sold out and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And so I go on Adam because I had the app. And I was just like, I could not do it. Like, I pressed on the blue bar. So I had to actually talk to somebody. And they were telling me, just go on the website, adamtickets.com. And on there, I could do it through there. So I'm like, what the heck? So I bought the tickets for me and my son to go see it. And then afterwards, I think like a few days later, it was shown on the app to where you can't purchase it on the app. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, really? I went through all this stuff. Like, I had to exit out my account. Then I found out I had 2 Adam accounts for somehow, some way. And so I had to have them close out one account. Then I had to go on the other account and blah, blah, blah. And it just went through all this stuff. And basically, all I had to do was go on there. But I'm glad I did that to get the other account wiped out because I don't know what was going on with that. Apparently, I don't know. Apparently, I did it. I don't know. But anyway, so I ended up seeing Aquaman early and all that stuff. And it's worth the hype. Okay, so put it like this. It's not one of the best movies of this year. Not one of the best movies of this year. But it is very, 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 very enjoyable. I'm going to have my review out sometime by this weekend or whatnot. But I'm trying to have it out real soon. But, it's one of the best DC BVS universe films that we've gotten already. Out of BVS, Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, Justice League, and Wonder Woman. It's one of the best. I say right now, if I had to put it, 6 movies in, that's deep. Basically, there's 3 for 3. My favorites being Man of Steel, in no particular order. But it may end up being, because I haven't really thought about it too much. But Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman are my favorites out of the BVS, whatever. The other ones, Justice League, Suicide Squad, and BVS. All, we're just, I don't know. Yeah, it's just, whatever. But at the case, Aquaman seemed like it's on track to be doing a lot. I don't know, I have a feeling that it may end up, if not reaching $1 billion, maybe even slightly touching it. Because this is one of those movies where a lot of people who were turned off by the DC films so far lately, and they just probably just done with it after, Justice League and everything else, probably might end up seeing this and changing their minds. So this movie it's really good. Right now, I think it should be at a higher percentage. I mean, people might think that, I'm crazy or whatever, but, 68% right now on Rotten Tomatoes, I feel like is kind of under it, because it was higher. I think it was 70 something percent, and now after more reviews that came out, it went down, but I feel like it should be higher. But at the same time, it is, looking at it, because I'm about to get into it or whatever, it is one of the highest grossing ones out of all the Justice League films or whatever. Not Justice League, but the BVS, the DC films in the BVS universe. So, I mean, Aquaman, okay, so you got Aquaman coming in at 68%. we're gonna see what it is before the end of the weekend, if it changes or anything. But 68%. Then you got Man of Steel with 56%. Then you got Wonder Woman with 93%. Justice League, well, not Justice League, Suicide Squad and BVS both at an equal 27%. And then you got Justice League at 40%. So it's literally one of the top ones. Like, obviously, I'm not in the majority as far as my three favorites out of everything that, DC has been doing lately with their movies, because the top highest ones are, Aquaman, Man of Steel, and Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman being the highest, 93%. I felt like, I ain't gonna say that Aquaman should have been, after seeing it, it was a really, really good movie. I'm gonna go see it again tonight in IMAX this time, because with the, Amazon early screening, we were only able to see it in, just regular standard. But as far as, as far as it goes after seeing it, I think it should be much higher than 68%. Feel like it should be much higher. I say low 80s, I say early 80s to late 70s. It should be 79%. I can deal with. I'm like, yeah. I feel like 68% is too low. I don't think it should be in the 90s, because even though it was a fantastic movie, I don't know. It seemed more of a movie where it was like, how can I put it? It was like Justice League. Even though I think Aquaman is way better than Justice League. How can I put it? It's one of those movies where you go into there, you shut off your mind, and you go have a good time. And I believe that Aquaman did it way better than Justice League. Because Justice League is one of those movies, even though it shouldn't have been one of those movies. But in any case, like, looking at it, I'm not in the majority. I'm not in the minority with this. So apparently, throughout critics and fans alike, all believe that Aquaman, Man of Steel, and Wonder Woman are the best three out of the six film series that BVS has already done. The BVS universe. So I'm really like disappointed with the percentage, but hey, what can you do about it? I don't think it's gonna change too much by the end of this weekend. I don't think it's gonna shoot up to like 94 or something like that. So, but yeah, just looking at it, I had the note to write it down or whatever. But we're gonna see what Aquaman does. Man of Steel in its overall run made off with $668 million with a budget of $225 million. Wonder Woman had a budget of, it did at the box office, $821.8 million with a budget of, I don't know, because they don't have it out there. Suicide Squad went to $746.8 million with a budget of $175. And BVS did $872.7 million with a budget of $250 million. And Justice League $657.9 million with a budget of $300 million. God damn it! They spending some money on these films, man. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I've had like a talk with several people. I think just bringing up those numbers. I don't know. Just looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score, I think that Aquaman will not touch $1 billion. I thought it probably would. It still could. Because look at Suicide Squad. I thought that movie was horrible. I still think it's horrible. And it's like, I might go back and watch it again, but that's only to do a special video that I want to do on it. But to watch it for enjoyment, no, that movie was just bad, just god awful. When it came out in 2016, that was one of the worst films of 2016 for me. One of the worst films. But I think it's going to do better than Suicide Squad. And I feel like, because it's one of those movies where I truly feel that it's going to do better. It may not reach Wonder Woman, but I think it has a good chance of at least reaching Suicide Squad. And I hope that it does better. I hope it does better. If it does better than Justice League, then hopefully, DC and Warner Brothers have their heads on their shoulders now, and they can make the right calls and have like real good course correction, and ends up putting these movies in the right direction that they need to be. Because yeah, they need these numbers. They really do. They need a movie just like Aquaman that's really good, but also having good, percentage on like Rotten Tomatoes and other websites, having the fans and critics both alike end up liking the film. They need all that. But despite all that, Aquaman is a win. Aquaman is a win, especially what it did over there in China, doing close to 100 million is opening weekend. Man, yeah, I think they're gonna. I think by the end, by it's all said and done, it's gonna end up doing something. It's gonna end up doing something. And so, basically, let's go ahead and jump into the box office segment. Now, since I didn't do a podcast last week because I've been working a crazy amount, so the struggle was real. Just been real tired. So basically I wanted to get into everything. I didn't have a last week prediction or whatever. So let's go ahead and jump into what dominated this past weekend. And so Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse dominated the weekend with 38.3 million. Well, 35.3 million. Let me not mess that up. Domestically bringing it to 42.4 million and worldwide 62.9 million. Why can't I talk? The Mule, which is Clint Eastwood's new movie, over the weekend did 17.5 million and domestically 22 million. The Grinch is still in the top 5. Dr. Seuss's The Grinch is still in the top 5, taking in at 11.7 million, with domestically bringing it 242 million and worldwide 377 million. And Ralph Breaks the Internet over the weekend took in 9.2 million, domestically 155.9 million, and worldwide 286.8 million. Then rounding out the top 5 with a disappointing debut is Mortal Engines, which over the weekend took in 7.5 million, domestically 9.2 million, and worldwide 43.9 million. Man, there's a lot to say about this. And what stands out to me is the Mule. I didn't think that the Mule was going to be in the top 2. Like, I seriously didn't think that. And to see that, more people wanted to see the Mule rather than Mortal Engines, a movie that looks good from the trailers, that looks like it has a lot of what fans would want as far as just action and stuff. I don't like that. Just really stands out to me. I mean, Ralph and Grinch. I mean, it's getting around Christmas time, so you would expect these family films to stay up in there. So the Grinches keep kicking, because he is the Grinch, and Ralph Breaks the Internet is, I guess you could say, breaking the box office and stuff like that. I don't know. That's corny as hell. But in any case, like those, I guess you could say those are no surprise. They're going to stay in the top 5. It's getting close to Christmas. So people who haven't seen these movies or haven't taken their kids to see Ralph Breaks the Internet or Grinch, these are 2 good movies to take the kids to go see. And then also you got Bumblebee coming out this weekend. So you got a lot of movies. You got Aquaman coming out. You got Mary Poppins Return came out this week already, which I'm going to get into that as far as like the movies and everything else. But yeah, so you're going to have a lot of choices. And I feel like, yeah, if you haven't taken your kids to go see Wreck-It Ralph for the Grinch, go ahead and take them. Both 2 good movies. I didn't enjoy them and it's just my taste. I didn't really enjoy them like I thought I would hopefully enjoy them. But they are good enough movies to take the kids to go see, because even if you don't enjoy them, your kids are more than likely going to enjoy them. But Mortal Engines, I ended up seeing it this week, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. It did have some problems. It really did. I wasn't too fond of the novel that they adapted it from, so I can't really say that this thing was done better or it was elaborated more in the book and blah, 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 and all that stuff. I'm just going strictly off the movie and what the movie gave me. And I feel like it should have been higher. As far as the movie and what it offered, just the visuals and stuff like that, the action, I think, like, it, to me, I ain't gonna say it was one of my top 10, but it was a really enjoyable movie. Like, I really did like it. To me, if I didn't have a whole bunch of other movies to see, I probably would go see it again. It was a really, really good movie. I really did enjoy it. And it's sad to see that it did. I mean, because I think the budget was like 100 million or close to that, and the debut weekend did only 7.5 million. That is a huge flop. Or that's a flop, if anything. Everybody was looking at Robin Hood, even though Robin Hood I could see. Yeah, Robin Hood, nah. That was a movie where it was like I could see, yeah, but Mortal Engines took the throne for this one. I guess you could say that out of this whole year, that is the biggest flop of 2018, which is sad, which is really, really sad because I really, really enjoyed Mortal Engines. That's a movie that if I get the chance before the end of this year to go see it again, I probably might. But there's more movies that I need to go see. Then on top of that, man, I don't know. I'm really bad about it because this is a movie that I could find myself watching again, even when it hits Blu-ray, going to buy the Blu-ray of it and enjoying it because it was a good movie. I ain't gonna say it was an enjoyable movie. It was good enough to where I can find a lot of enjoyment out of it. But I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, just to see that this movie didn't do that good, man, it's saddening. It's saddening. But let's go ahead and jump into it and like go ahead and wrap up this podcast because we at the 30-minute mark right now. So with the movies coming out this weekend, there are several movies coming out this weekend, and then there are a couple movies that are expanding to a worldwide release, which are movies that I do want to check out. Actually, all these movies are movies I want to put under my belt by the end of this year. So we got Bumblebee, which is a semi kind of soft reboot of the Transformers movies, which I think it is a whole reboot, but yeah, with just revolving around Bumblebee and just how he got to Earth and blah blah, which was a really good movie. I really did enjoy it, and it is a good family film. So if you got time to take the kids to go see it, you need something to go see, Bumblebee is a good way to go. After that, we got Aquaman, which I got through talking about it and everything else. Great movie. You haven't seen it yet, you want to go see it, go see it. Really, really enjoyable. Especially if you were down about just the BVS universe so far and you felt like how I felt. Aquaman will start to change things for you. Have you starting to look a little bit optimistic, if not at the least curious. And then Second Act with Jennifer Lopez is coming out this weekend. Actually, I seen that last week. Was a good film. I didn't really enjoy it too much, but if you are a fan of these movies, fan of Jennifer Lopez, romantic comedies, and just comedies like that, you probably will enjoy it. The audience that I was with really were laughing when they needed to laugh and everything else, so they enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a bit. I think it's worth checking out. What's next? I just lost my place. Welcome to Marwen with Steve Carell. It's a movie that when I first kind of saw it, and I'm like the trailer, I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna go see it, but I'm not really too enthused about it. But as in time passed, and I kind of like seeing the trailer a few more times, I'm like, maybe this could be something that could be enjoyable. So I am gonna go check that out. It looked like it's gonna be good. Mary Poppins Returns already came out into theaters. I haven't seen it yet. I had a chance to see it on Monday, but because I've been so tired because of just work and all that stuff, and then finding time to see these screenings and even just going to the movies on my own time, man, it's just been overwhelming. And I would have had to drive almost an hour out my way just to go see that on Monday, and I just chose it's coming out in 2 days. I'm going to go end up seeing it before the week is out. My son wanted to go see it, so we're more than likely going to go see it tomorrow once I go get him. But I haven't heard too much from it. Not really, just trying to stay away from just a lot of reviews or whatever, but I want to go see it on my own merit. I still haven't seen the original, the first one, because this is a continuation. But I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it may have some enjoyment out of it. I will be really surprised if it makes it in my top 10 by the end of this year, but we'll see. Then we have The Favorite. it's expanded with Emma Stone up in there, and it's an independent type of film, not a film that's like really out there for a lot of people to know about or whatever. But it's a movie that's expanding, and I really am curious to see it. I wanted to go see it before, but it wasn't showing at a theater near where I live at. I would have had to go all the way into Chicago downtown in order to see it, and it just, I don't know. It wasn't those movies that I would drive crazy amount of, distance to go see it. But it's a movie that I really do want to see. And then Mary Queen of Scots. It's another movie that I do want to go see that is expanding this week. So it's going to be playing at AMC near where I stay at. And so I am definitely going to go see this. So out of all these movies, I can only say the movies that I haven't seen yet, which are priorities. So I've already seen Aquaman, Bumblebee, and Second Act. So out of all these movies, I say Mary Poppins would be top on the list. The favorite would be the second one. I say Welcome to Marwen will be the third, and then Mary Queen of Scots will be the fourth. So out of those movies that I haven't seen already, those will be the ones that will be in my priority list, in which I'm going to go see Mary Poppins tomorrow. But as of tonight, I am going to go see Deadpool. Well, Once Upon a Deadpool. Well, not, oh my gosh. Tomorrow I'm going to go see Mary Poppins Returns. Today, I am going to go see, I think I will go see Once Upon a Deadpool today. And I might do a triple feature. May end up seeing the Deadpool movie and then something else. I don't know. Whether it's the Mule or something I haven't seen yet. Probably go see that. But let's go ahead and get real quick of what will dominate the box office. What will dominate the box office as far as the top 5? Since we have a crazy amount of movies coming out this week, I really think, I may be off a little bit on this, but I think because like the movies, I feel it's 3 movies that could do real gangbusters by the end of this weekend, which is Mary Poppins, Aquaman, and Bumblebee. These are my pick, this is the order. I think Aquaman will come in at number 1. I believe that Aquaman will take the number 1 spot. I believe that Bumblebee will come in at number 2. Mary Poppins Returns will come in at number 3. I could be off. Maybe Bumblebee come in at number 1, then Aquaman, but we'll see. Maybe Mary Poppins come in at number 2. I don't know, but we will see. Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse will get bumped down to number 4. And then rounding off the top 5 will be Second Act with Jennifer Lopez. So I think that's how it's going to go. Hopefully my list is correct, but I think that's how it's going to be. I'll be surprised if, the favorite, or I'll just say the favorite, because I don't think Mary Queen of Scots is going to make it in the top 5. I'll be really, really surprised if it did, but out of all the movies that's coming out this weekend, I don't know. I think Welcome to Marwen will probably try to touch the top 5. If it does do it, probably might knock, Second Act out of the top 5. If Second Act is number 5. But other than that, that's my list. And that is the end of this episode. I'd like to thank you guys for listening and everything else. I will have another episode maybe up by, I'll say if not this week, I'm going to have one up next week. And I'm going to start doing something new with my podcast, doing like movie reviews and stuff on there as well. Like just audio reviews and everything. But yeah, just so I can play catch up. Yeah. But in any case, that is it. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell, make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.